Have you ever tried persuading a friend into something, but they just don't seem interested in the slightest? As I ask that question, I can think of multiple times where that's happened to me. And all that came out of it was just them getting annoyed. But gradually I started trying out some new techniques, and I managed to get through to them. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know while also sharing a personal experience of mine. Persuasion is a helpful skill in personal relationships, as it helps to influence positive change by presenting persuasive arguments, while also being helpful in business, as it helps you to sell products, recruit team members, and influence others to perform well and succeed. Persuasion is something to get you to do or believe something. For example, if you're not sure you want to go somewhere, your friend might use persuasion to talk you into it. When using persuasion, it's important that you're truthful, you respect the person you're trying to persuade, you understand their perspective, and you don't cross their boundaries. Now, we're going to get onto the 6 principles of persuasion by Robert Cialdini. These are 6 factors that will better help you to persuade people. Firstly, reciprocation. When people receive something first, they're more likely to give back. I'll give an example of that later. Secondly, liking. People are more likely to give if they like the person who's asking. Thirdly, commitment. If people take a small action or pledge, then they're more likely to follow through. Next up, scarcity. People are more likely to give to avoid a sense of loss or losing out. Principle 5, authority. People are more likely to give to organisations that are credible and trustworthy. And finally, consensus. People are more likely to give if they know and see others who have also given. Now, I'm going to give a quick example of reciprocation. I was once trying to convince a friend of mine to watch my favourite show, One Piece, but I couldn't persuade him. But then I thought, what show does he really like? Pokemon. So I made a deal with him that for every episode of Pokemon that I watched, he would watch an episode of One Piece. So I gave first, then took. I would personally say that's the most effective method of persuasion. Now it's time for me to talk about how you can apply persuasion in both business contexts and personal life. So I'll be giving 3 applications for each one. So starting with business, persuasion techniques can help you close deals and reach agreeable terms in a negotiation. For example, a salesman might use the principle of liking to get on common grounds with the client before introducing their service. In marketing and advertising, the principle of scarcity is often used to persuade customers to buy a product by creating urgency and encouraging customers to act quickly. And for the final business application, leaders can use persuasion to motivate their team and encourage better performance by using the principle of authority, showing expertise and credibility which can inspire trust and respect from other team members. Now, how can you apply persuasion in your personal life? Persuasion can help in maintaining healthy relationships and friendships. For example, the principle of reciprocation can be used to reach compromises or resolve conflicts. Parents can also use persuasive techniques to guide their children's behaviour positively. For example, the principle of consistency can be used to help children develop good habits. And last but not least, self-persuasion can be used in goal setting. By using the principle of commitment, one might make their goals public to feel more accountable and stay motivated to achieve them. Some really common mistakes that a lot of people make when trying to persuade others are being overly aggressive, not understanding the other person's perspective, or using weak arguments. And some ethical considerations are not respecting boundaries or trying to manipulate others. Some ways that you can avoid these mistakes are showing empathy, understanding the other person's perspective, using strong and logical arguments, and building trust before trying to persuade. And always consider the ethical aspects. The example I provided earlier about convincing my friend to watch One Piece highlights just how important it is to not make these mistakes. I was trying to persuade him to watch this TV show for 2 months, and then the same day I switched to the right principles, he agreed. Let me repeat that. The same day I switched to the right principles, he agreed after 2 months. If you want to learn about persuasion in greater detail, I'd recommend buying this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It will teach you how to influence people and win them to your way of thinking. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can buy one for yourself. Like any other skill, persuasion requires consistent practice. Practicing these techniques can lead to greater influence, improved relationships, and more successful outcomes. You could practice this by reading books on the subject, like this one, or seeking feedback from others. Effective persuasion also requires accurately reading and responding to others' reactions. Understanding verbal cues, body language, and emotional reactions is crucial to adjusting your approach and ensuring that your persuasion is ethical and respectful. Make sure you leave this video knowing the 6 principles of persuasion, and I encourage you to try out the techniques and practice them. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe to receive more self-improvement videos like this one. I'll see you next week.